It's the lunch break.
January 7th, 2026. It is the Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan on the other side of the glass. The phone number for you to get involved today on the program, 480-864-1060. You can hang out with us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel as well. And it's funny how the NFL always has a trick up its sleeve. They always have something to keep themselves relevant and in the news. And they did so yesterday because out of nowhere, the Baltimore Ravens made a decision to move on from John Harbaugh, and that has thrown a wrench into everything about this coaching cycle. So that's where we'll start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
The Ravens moving on from John Harbaugh after 18 seasons with one organization. You don't see that very often in pro sports anymore. One coach having that long of a tenure. A lot of wins for John Harbaugh, a Super Bowl championship, but recently a feeling of untapped potential, a feeling of leaving something on the table. And Baltimore decided, whether it was because he and Lamar weren't getting it along, if it was because they wanted to make some changes that he wasn't on board with. A lot of reporting pointing in a bunch of different directions of where this relationship turned sour, to the point where the Ravens made the decision yesterday to join the coaching cycle and to move on from John Harbaugh. And it was immediate. You saw fans of teams who still have a head coach want their coach to be told to hit the unemployment line so that they could get John Harbaugh. It was a frenzy. It was a mad dash. It was like Black Friday in the mid-2000s where you just had to get there for a doorbuster deal. Everybody was tripping over themselves yesterday to advocate for their team to fire their head coach, or in the case of the 6 teams that are not named the Baltimore Ravens, to put John Harbaugh at the top of their list. I've never seen anything like it. A coach gets fired and everybody's in a mad dash to interview him. And it looks like he's going to interview first with the New York Giants. That appears to be the leader in the clubhouse. But let's focus here on the Arizona Cardinals, whose fans, some of you probably out there as well, jumped on social media, jumped all over this news. My father-in-law texting me about it, wanting the Cardinals to be interested in John Harbaugh. And yeah, guy's a Super Bowl champion. Guy has a ton of winning seasons. I don't remember the exact statistic that I saw yesterday, but I think John Harbaugh himself has more playoff appearances than the entire Arizona Cardinals franchise in their history. That's how great he's been, just how consistent he's been. He's an immediate upgrade. Immediately changes the narrative about the Arizona Cardinals. He's a bona fide winner. He's a culture guy. He's not an offense or a defensive guy. He's the CEO type, but he's a really well buttoned up CEO type that's going to pick good coordinators. Maybe he's a little bit loyal to those coordinators, but has a track record of picking good coaches, would instantly change the perspective and narrative, not just with his presence, but what it would mean if the Cardinals chose to go down a path of hiring John Harbaugh. Yes, he should be number one on the top of the list. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. He's the top of everybody's list that's not named the Baltimore Ravens. He's atop the list of potentially the Miami Dolphins, who, as we're doing this show today, still have a head coach. So he's number one on everybody's list. You're going to have to outcompete everybody else that's going to want to get John Harbaugh in their building for an interview. But it's one thing to want John Harbaugh. It's another thing for John Harbaugh to want you. And here is where we have to live in reality for just a second. The Arizona Cardinals are not the most attractive opening in this cycle. They're not the second most attractive opening in this cycle. Of the 7 openings, I don't know if they're in the top half in terms of attractiveness in this cycle. You are not going to be John Harbaugh's first choice. You are not going to be the team that John Harbaugh has to meet with right away, like it looks like he's going to do with the New York Giants. You don't have that sway. You don't have that pull. You don't have that attraction. You don't have the infrastructure. You aren't a team that automatically gets an interview with John Harbaugh. You just don't. you're not atop of John Harbaugh's personal list. I don't know if you're in his top 3. Because let's ask this question. Why would John Harbaugh want to pick the Arizona Cardinals? Why would he want to come here? He doesn't have a quarterback answer. He plays in the toughest division in football. There's a lot of work to be done here. He's probably going to want to have some level of say in personnel. Is Monty going to give that up? I think everything should be on the table if it allows you to land John Harbaugh. You should pay him the most money. You may need to cede personnel control to the guy. That's how much of a difference I think he would make at the coaching ranks for the Arizona Cardinals. I would give up personnel control if I was Monty to get somebody like John Harbaugh. I would allow him to have a seat at the table and have it be closer to 50-50, maybe even 60-40 with John Harbaugh having the final say. That's the type of difference maker he could be for this team. I just don't see it being very likely. Is Monty going to want to do that? Is Michael Bidwell going to want to pay what it takes to land John Harbaugh? He is going to get a massive contract. If the Giants pay it, if the Dolphins pay it, if the Falcons pay it, if you pay it, it's going to be a top end of the market head coaching contract. Do we think the Cardinals are going to swim into that end of the pool? And I've seen a lot of people on social media say, oh, this is going to be another example of Michael Bidwell being cheap, not wanting to pay a coach. You can only pay a coach if he wants to come here. So step one is we have to figure out if John Harbaugh would want to come here. That is step one. Is that even possible? You worry about the finer details of the contract later. And if you know that John Harbaugh wants to come here, then you cannot let money be the obstacle that stops you. A coach's salary does not count against the salary cap. It does not stop you from improving this roster. That comes directly out of the organization. That is a decision that the owner makes that comes out of his personal bank account, basically. So if it allows you to get somebody like John Harbaugh, you want to talk about turning the direction of this franchise around, John Harbaugh would do that. But again, a little dose of reality today. You're not John Harbaugh's first choice. I don't think you're John Harbaugh's second choice. And I think you're not even John Harbaugh's third choice in this process. I think choice number 1 would be the New York Giants. I think choice number 2 would potentially be the Miami Dolphins if that job opened up. And let me tell you what I think choice number 3 is. I think choice number 3 is I'll take the Mike Vrabel route. I'll take the Sean Payton route. I'll sit out a year and I will be a much desired candidate the next go around, and I'll get 2 chances to pick my spot. Because who knows what jobs are going to open up in 2027. Mike Vrabel took a year off, worked out pretty well for him. Sean Payton took a year off, worked out pretty well for him. Those are the top 2 teams in the AFC. Both of those coaches took a year off. Look at where they stand now. Those are the 3 options I think are in front of John Harbaugh. The Giants, the Dolphins, and or another team. Because I'll tell you what. I'm not the first person to say this. Don't be surprised if Green Bay makes a coaching change if they lose in the postseason. Don't be surprised if they're one and done, that they move on from LaFleur. A lot of noise pointing towards them maybe wanting to make a change there. And so if you're Harbaugh, do you wait through the weekend? You're not going to make a decision between now and Monday. Do you wait through the weekend to see if Green Bay opens up? And if Green Bay opens up, John Harbaugh is going to be at top of their list, more than likely. So Miami and or any team that opens up their job by the time we get to next Tuesday and the wild card weekend is in the rearview mirror. And then option number 3 is I'll take a year off. I'll go do TV. I'll get paid a lot of money to be a radio guest, a lot of money to be on the CBS or the Fox or the ESPN Countdown show. And I'll have my face out there, and I will be still a desirable candidate in 2027. The Cardinals, I don't think, are anywhere near John Harbaugh's mind, just like I don't think Cleveland is anywhere near Harbaugh's mind. But that doesn't mean that John Harbaugh giving the Heisman to the Arizona Cardinals means it stops there in terms of the impact on the Arizona Cardinals, because you just had the new top team in this coaching cycle jump to the front of the line. The Baltimore Ravens are now the clear-cut number 1 destination in this offseason. They now are the top spot for Kevin Stefanski, the top spot for Robert Saleh, the top spot for Clint Kubiak, the top spot for Jesse Minter, the top spot for Chris Shula, the top spot for insert the hot name right now in the coaching circles. That is where
sounds crazy, but Todd Monken
could be just elevated to be the head coach there in Baltimore. All of those names now go to the front of the line on Baltimore's list, and now you move down a slot. So the ramifications of this are, let's say Kevin Stefanski was going to be the Giants guy, and he was apparently their top candidate before yesterday happened. Now they go after Harbaugh. That now puts Kevin Stefanski in play in a market maybe he wasn't in play in before. And then that moves guys down the totem pole. And now all of a sudden, in a good way, somebody might be available for the Arizona Cardinals that they didn't think was available 24 hours ago. On the flip side, somebody that they thought was a top candidate for their job now all of a sudden became a top candidate for Baltimore's shop. And there's one name in particular, and we're going to talk about in the next segment here, the names that have initially been floated for the Cardinals to interview. But there's a name on that list that I think jumps to the top of the list in Baltimore. Do not be surprised if Baltimore makes Robert Saleh their next head coach. Do not be surprised if that's the move that they make. And do not be surprised if that's exactly where Robert Saleh wants to go, because if you'll remember, Robert Saleh the last go-around picked a team that had a good infrastructure, but didn't have a quarterback, didn't have the right pieces around him. And what I mean by infrastructure is they had cap space, they had draft picks, they had everything that you would want as a first-year head coach to craft the roster in your image, and it failed. Is there a better spot than walk into Baltimore and have Lamar Jackson as your head coach? Or Lamar Jackson as your quarterback? To have Zay Flowers, to have Derrick Henry in the backfield, to have that type of talent on offense? That's going to be the top spot for Robert Saleh. It's going to be the top spot for Clint Kubiak. Probably drooling at the possibilities of drawing up plays for Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. He's doing what he's doing in Seattle with Sam Darnold. What could that offense look like with Clint Kubiak as their head coach? This is the butterfly effect that occurs from Harbaugh leaving. It makes Baltimore the top destination, and it also jumbles up all of the candidates that the Cardinals may have been interested in, and some of the names that are on the short list of names that they're interviewing in this first batch of names that we got yesterday, and we even got a couple more today. It's a seismic change to the coaching cycle. It's a big-time team that now enters the fray, and it's a big-time name that I don't think is coming to Arizona, but John Harbaugh's presence in all of this is going to impact who the Cardinals end up with as their head coach.
It impacts everything, because when you look at the teams that are hiring coaches right now, I'll just ask you honestly, do you believe they're a good organization from top to bottom? Take out the head coach, from owner to GM to the way it's run. Do you think the Raiders are a good organization?
I do not.
Do you think the Browns are a good organization?
I do not.
Do you think the Falcons are a good organization?
I do not.
Do you think the Cardinals are a good organization?
I do not.
Do you think the Giants are a good organization?
I think of the group, they're the closest, but as of late, the answer would be no.
Why doesn't John sit out a year? Not unless the Buffalo job opens up. What if they go one and done?
Right. I mentioned Green Bay, but it's a good call on the AFC side of things. If the Bills are one and done in a year where there is no Lamar Jackson in the postseason, there is no Joe Burrow in the postseason, there is no Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. If you go one and done with Josh Allen this year, he's going to go. I certainly think he goes if they go one and done.
If they lose in Jacksonville this week, I think they have to make a move.
I think they will make a move. And so Buffalo is a team that would entice Harbaugh. Now, apparently he has a ton of respect for the Giants and the organization and the history. And that, to me, is the one team right now with the teams that we know are open he would consider.
But Code made a good point, I thought, in the chat here. And he brings up Dallas. Next year, if John were to sit out a year. But to me, you're looking at the Cowboys maybe making a change next year. You're looking at the Colts possibly making a change. I think we look at both of those organizations, and given the problems in Dallas, I certainly think they're more well run than any organization we just listed.
I'm looking at next year, and off the top of my head, teams that I think are going to be on the hot seat that Harbaugh would be interested in. Buffalo, if they don't make a change. Green Bay, if they don't make a change. How about this? Detroit, if things go south again, because they're changing their OC. So now, if it doesn't work again,
then it starts to look at the head coach.
And with a name like Harbaugh available, you may try to back channel to see if you would be interested. I think, did I mention Buffalo already?
Yes. You don't think any interest in Indy?
Indy's another one. I'm trying to do the divisions in my head. It's a bit of a tough exercise to do this on the fly. I don't think anybody, maybe if Andy Reid retires, Kansas City becomes a possibility for John Harbaugh. But again, you can't bet on that being a possibility. No. But I do think there will be better situations. Now, there'll also be your Carolinas. There'll be your Clevelands potentially. The Jets might open up. The Saints might open up. The teams that are always Tennessee, who knows what they do. Like
a revolving door.
Right. You're going to have somebody that might be a one and done from this cycle. You might have somebody who's at the end of year 2 and they decide the Jets, because they decide Aaron Glenn's gone. Now, I don't know if Harbaugh would pick the Jets. I don't think he would, but there's always those teams that are going to open up as well. But this has massive ramifications because now all of a sudden, I don't know if Kevin Stefanski made sense for Arizona, but now Kevin Stefanski might make sense for Atlanta, or might make sense for the Raiders, or might make sense for... It doesn't make sense for Cleveland. He's not going to go back there. He might make sense for Baltimore. And now all of a sudden, that puts Clint Kubiak more in play than if Stefanski went to New York and Clint Kubiak went to Atlanta. Right now, if Atlanta gets Stefanski, now Clint Kubiak doesn't have a seat, right? All of a sudden, there's a butterfly effect to all of this that could help the Cardinals land a premier candidate in a year where they're not, I think, in the top half of the attractiveness of these jobs. Now, it could work against them, but I do think this could work in their favor. But you can want John Harbaugh. I want John Harbaugh.
We all do.
He's not coming here. What would pull him here? It's not a great cap space situation. You don't have a lot of room to maneuver out. You have the 3rd overall pick. Who knows what your quarterback answer is? At least if you go to New York, you have a top 5 pick and you have Jackson Dart. And you got talent on defense. And you play in a much weaker division than the NFC West.
Yeah, I mean, they could be probably second in the division next year.
And I do think the NFC West is going to play a role in this. I think playing in this division, going up against those teams every year, is going to play a role in all this.
Certainly. Why would I want to play 3 of what I think are the best young coaches in the NFL?
The NFL. It's always something. They've always got something up their sleeve.
The schedule. They dominate. They dominate the news cycle.
On a day where you don't expect them to dominate, it's the Tuesday in between, wild card weekend and the end of the regular season. Boom, John Harbaugh gone in Baltimore. And it wasn't super surprising. There were kind of rumblings about it. But to see it actually happen was another thing. And now it has kicked off a frenzy that is going to take hold here over the next couple of days and weeks as somebody tries to land his services and the ripple effect that is going to have over the course of this coaching cycle. Speaking of that coaching cycle, when we come back, our first batch of names has been released. What do we make of the first group of names the Cardinals want to interview for their next head coach? We'll talk about it next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU men's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks this Thursday evening as they play host to Weber State. With the leadership of head coach Shane Burkhart, NAU knows they have what it takes to defend home court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Weber State this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This is Michael with Restore My Civil Rights. Let's be honest, nobody keeps New Year's resolutions. Gym memberships don't get used and diets fail. If you lost your firearm rights because of past convictions, here's a resolution you can keep. You've thought about this for years. Make it happen in 2026. You make the decision, Restore My Civil Rights does the work. This resolution will change your life. To book a free consultation today, call 855-GUN-RIGHTS or visit RestoreMyCivilRights.com. That's RestoreMyCivilRights.com.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Superstar Car Wash has extended our best deal of the year. Lock in 30% off for 12 months on a Super Protect Unlimited membership. Splurge elsewhere, save here, and treat your wealth before it's gone. Visit our website for details.
Take advantage of thousands of dollars in SRP rebates and discounts on energy-efficient home upgrades like new air conditioning units, windows, ducts, and insulation. Save money on your energy bill while also making your home more comfortable. SRP's network of participating contractors can guide you from start to finish and maximize your savings by combining Inflation Reduction Act incentives with SRP rebates. Learn more at safesrp.com.
Meineke always treats your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke's certified technicians will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care. Schedule an appointment at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
This is Brian Weber filling in for Jim Rome with the Rome Report. While it's a new year, one thing hasn't changed in the early stages of 2026. The NFL remains as wide open as we've ever seen. It was clear when the Chiefs dynasty hit the wall during the regular season, we could be on the brink of massive change in the league we care the most about. Although Eagles fans would rightly point out their team has a real chance of winning their second straight Super Bowl, in part because of unprecedented parity. So as we enter a postseason with no Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, or Lamar Jackson, will this finally be the year that Josh Allen breaks through? Are young QBs like Bo Nix or Drake May poised to rise to the top? Or could Matthew Stafford pick up a second ring to solidify his standing as a future Hall of Famer? Whatever happens to come next, if we've learned anything during this wild season, it is to expect the unexpected. So buckle up. I'm Brian Weber.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy two Brake Best Select rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Trying something new or making player picks for the first time can be hard, but on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. Start the new year right with Prize Picks. Just pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup to play. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROME, and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils make their way back to Arizona, this time to defend home court against the University of Central Florida. Head coach Molly Miller and the Lady Sun Devils are more than ready to take on any challenge that comes to Tempe. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Wednesday. It's ASU versus UCF. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We got our first batch of names of interviews for the Arizona Cardinals in their head coaching search. Do some quick math here. 7 names I have on my little index card right now. This is a ongoing developing story, so names are getting added to this list by the minute. So I don't want to say it's a comprehensive list. I'm sure there are going to be more names added to this list, but here is the list as it stands right now of the coaches that the Cardinals either have scheduled interviews with or have requested interviews with. Start with Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. That one is scheduled. Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. That one also is reported as scheduled according to NFL.com, although that hasn't been reported anywhere else. Clint Kubiak, the Seattle offensive coordinator. Thomas Brown, the pass game coordinator for the New England Patriots. Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. And former Falcons head coach Raheem Morris are the 7 names in this first batch for the Arizona Cardinals in coaches, coordinators that they want to sit down with, talk to, interview as a part of their process to get the next head coach for this franchise. So now that I've presented those 7 names to you, and it's a mix. You've got guys with head coaching experience, Vance Joseph, Robert Saleh, Raheem Morris, Matt Nagy. You have coordinators, Anthony Weaver, Clint Kubiak, Thomas Brown. You got offensive guys like Clint Kubiak and Matt Nagy and Thomas Brown. You got defensive guys, Vance Joseph, Anthony Weaver, Robert Saleh. You are checking every box. You are doing what you said you were going to do and have a exhaustive, extensive, turn over every stone type process. This is, at least just in the first 7 names that we've gotten, a list that is living up to that bill. It is checking those boxes. Do I love every name on this list? No, I do not. I could do without Raheem Morris getting an opportunity to be the Cardinals head coach. I don't think Matt Nagy makes sense for this gig. Those are 2 names that jump off the page to me as, I would be not so thrilled if those ultimately were the choices that this team made. But you have experience, you have up-and-coming coordinators, you have the offense, you have the defense. They are casting the wide net, and this is just the first group. There are going to be more names added to this list. 2 names jump off the page to me. And it shouldn't be a surprise at the 2 names that jump off of this index card to me, because they're 2 names that we talked about yesterday on the program that I would prioritize talking to right away. And that is Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, and Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Those are the 2 names for me that jump immediately off the page. For those of you that want to go down the experience rabbit hole, Robert Saleh is your guy, former Jets head coach. Yes, it didn't work out well there in New York for a variety of different reasons. Robert Saleh had a hand in some of those reasons. But you see a lot of times here in the NFL when guys get a second chance, they get a second opportunity. They do well if it's the right spot, if they've shown that they've learned from their past failures. Robert Saleh feels like a guy that has learned from his failures in New York. Feels like if he came to Arizona, where the media noise is quieter, he's gone through the whole process of drafting and attempting to develop a rookie quarterback. He will have learned what went wrong there in the selection process, in the coaching process, in the development process. He'll have learned from that. He'll have that to draw back onto. He won't be under the pressure of the New York media and also having Aaron Rodgers in the room, which he did for a year, 2 years that he was there. Be totally different. So he jumps off the page to me as 1. And Clint Kubiak, just because you see what he did with Sam Darnold up there in Seattle, and you just wonder what he could do for Marvin Harrison Jr., what he could do for Trey McBride, what he could do for Michael Wilson. I don't have a worry about Clint Kubiak figuring out a way to get those 3 guys the ball like I did throughout this season. He'll know what to do. He'll know how to scheme up an offense to get all those pieces involved. He'll have a pretty good idea of who they can go out and get at the quarterback position as a bridge that he can work with, that can run his offense, while also maybe drafting a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick, maybe even with the 2nd round pick, a day 2 pick. I don't have any worries about Clint Kubiak running an offense. These are the 2 guys that jump off the page to me. I like that they're talking to guys like Anthony Weaver and Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown's an interesting one. He's not truly the offensive coordinator there because they've got Josh McDaniels, but he's a pass game coordinator. He's had experience working with a bunch of different organizations in that regard. He's an interesting name that last cycle got some interviews. And you'll wonder if he is somebody that is going to maybe not get a head coaching gig in this cycle, but be taken by one of these coaches as an offensive coordinator so that he can get that play calling experience and continue to move up the ladder here. But again, you look at and they haven't talked to any of these guys yet. It's all just scheduled. It's all just hypothetical. But you look at this first list and you like what you see. You like the 7 names that are on this list. Now, names need to get added. I would talk to Chris Shula. I would talk to Mike LaFleur. I would try to talk to John Harbaugh. Just a couple of names that pop off the page for me. I would talk to Kevin Stefanski if he would be interested in talking to you.
I think any name out of those that you just listed, if they're interested in talking to you, I would at least give them a call. And that's how we've always said, pick up the phone. But you need to be calling John Harbaugh. He may say no, but you don't know until he says it.
You need to make him say no, right?
You need to make him say no. You need to make Kevin Stefanski say no to me. And for me, I probably sit on the side of maybe I'm out on Robert Saleh. I've seen what it looks like as a head coach. And yeah, I understand it's the Jets. It's a different situation. He learned from it. But I don't know if I would go defensive-minded guy like Robert Saleh.
He would have to get the offensive coordinator spot right, and he did not get it right in his time in New York. But this is a guy who won 7 games with Zach Wilson as his quarterback.
Certainly.
So if you can get the right offensive mind and get the right quarterback in here, he won 7 games with
Zach Wilson,
the worst quarterback play that you'll ever see. He won 7 games. So it's not like you're working from a guy who had a bunch of 3-14 seasons. He won 7 games with the worst quarterback play you'll ever see. He's going to be able to coach up a defense, going to be able to coach up these young players, be able to coach up maybe some of the young pass rushers to give them more than what they're getting from anybody not named Josh Sweat. I think there are a lot of pros. There are some cons. He did fail. He did miss on the quarterback thing. There are reasons to not do it.
And see, that's the biggest thing for me is, and I don't dislike Robert Saleh as a coach. I don't know if he's the fit for this team in the situation they're in, because I saw him play in this situation with an early draft pick and the opportunity to get the choice at quarterback. And yes, while I thought that they probably played above their ceiling and he got more out of less, you're in a position where, yeah, you're going to have to get more out of less, but you also have to pick right. You have to be right on the quarterback.
You do, but also one of the things I don't know Robert Saleh personally. He's not sitting across from me right now. I can't ask him this question, but I think from what I know about the sport of football, the mistake that they made with Zach Wilson and not getting a bridge quarterback to allow him to sit, that mistake won't be made again. Somebody will be brought in here in free agency, whether it's a Jimmy Garoppolo, whether it's a Malik Willis, whether they trade for a Tanner McKee, they trade for an Anthony Richardson, whatever they do. There's going to be somebody in here to where that rookie doesn't need to start week 1.
Stick with Jacoby.
And you could stick with Jacoby Brissett. So already Robert Saleh is going to be in a more beneficial situation at that position than he was when he started in New York. So that's one reason to do it. Also, what you just said about getting more with less, isn't that exactly what this team needed to do this year? They needed to get more from less, and they didn't. They couldn't. They couldn't out-scheme. They couldn't out-coach. They couldn't be. Now, Saleh had penalty problems in New York. He had problems about being unprepared. He had problems of, losing divisional games. All the things that we worry about here in Arizona, he had in New York. But he's overseen another great defense, doing more with less in San Francisco. He knows the division really well. I do think that's important. So the 2 NFC West coordinators are at the top of the list for me for those reasons in particular. But there are more names that need to be added to this list. Talk to Joe Brady. Talk to Todd Monken. I mean, you need to start picking the brains of a lot. But talk to Brian Daboll. Even if it's just as potentially the offensive coordinator, talk to Brian Daboll. There are a lot of great names that need to be added to this current list of 7. And I do think there will be more added to this list of 7 names for the Arizona Cardinals, but I think a great start. I think a start that tells you they are going to do their due diligence, and whoever they pick, it's going to be in a thoughtful process that they've gone through. So an encouraging first step for the Arizona Cardinals. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here on the lunch break. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, the owner of the Phoenix Suns earlier this week, he tweeted something. I want to talk about it. Next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
Not surprised that the Cardinals aren't in. They fired their head coach. Kyler Murray's probably on his way out. It is what they like to call Black Monday. I'm kind of surprised by the Raheem Morris one in Atlanta. It's only been how long? Year? 2 years. So maybe that one. Pete Carroll gone. I told you from the jump when they hired Pete Carroll, I didn't like the hire. I think he's past his due. Let him go after year 1. You might as well have kept the guy you had before and saved a bunch of money.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love North American Tour 2026? Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
You won't believe everything I just saw. I went to Disneyland, and it was the 70th celebration. First, I went to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, and I danced with Goofy. I even got Dad to do the hot dog dance. He's not bad, actually. At night, I saw this parade. Everything was glowing. There were all these lights and colors. Sorcerer Mickey was there and Lightning McQueen. Oh, then I went to this giant water show with all the Inside Out characters. And I was like, whoa. And then my parents were like, whoa. Oh, and guess what? Bluey and Bingo are coming for real life.
Make memories that last a lifetime during the 70th celebration. From Paint the Night Parade returning January 30th to World of Color Happiness. And with Bluey and Bingo coming soon. Happiness is everywhere at the Disneyland Resort. Visit Disneyland.com for details.
Nothing can stop us now. Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger, in my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month, and I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. Feel at home with the Valley's one true locals casino, from the welcoming, friendly smiles to the slot win high five celebrations. Picture yourself with the coolest cast at our blackjack tables. Dine like a rock star at our buffet or Choya Steakhouse, where even the steaks are famous. Want to stack up rewards while having fun at your favorite casino? Join Salt River Rewards, and the excitement keeps rising with every return visit. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona. You must be 21 years of age or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
I usually don't weigh in on nonsense. I try to avoid it. When something is just so foolish and so stupid, I don't know if it needs the airtime here on the show. We got a lot. I mean, there's a lot of great things. We got our top 5 personal sports villains. We got a great top 5 list today. We got buy or sell. There's way more important things to be doing than what I'm about to be doing. But it was so foolish that the owner of the Phoenix Suns had to weigh in on it this week, and we didn't get to it yesterday, and so I want to touch on it here today. There's a show on the FanDuel Sports Network. I'm not going to even pretend that I've watched the show. I'm not even going to pretend to know the name of the show. I just saw the clip on social media. And it's a clip of DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie Cousins, on said show saying that the Lakers should trade Austin Reeves for Dillon Brooks. Quote, he's a culture changer. He's a proven winner. Brooks fits exactly what the Lakers need right now. Why wouldn't you do it? End quote. So Mat Ishbia, he's 1 for 1 this season with tweets. He tweeted at Bill Simmons about the Suns defense that he 1-0. Round 1 goes to Mat Ishbia. He tweeted, don't bother calling, ... Suns aren't interested. Dillon's not going anywhere. Now, normally, I don't know if I love the owner of the team saying, don't bother calling. We are proponents here of this program of you always answer the phone. You always pick up the phone. You always listen. But this is just such an absurd concept by Boogie Cousins that I love that Mat Ishbia is like, dude, it's the most moronic thing I've ever heard. Don't call. He's not going anywhere. And I love this. I love that Mat Ishbia is defending Dillon Brooks the way that he is in this way. Because let's face it, Dillon Brooks is a main reason that the Phoenix Suns are having the success that they're having. Don't think that this culture change has happened basically overnight. This attitude change has basically changed overnight. And ignore directly bringing in somebody who's tough, who's going to get in teammates' faces, who's not going to take no for an answer, is going to be physical, is going to play hard on the defensive end, is going to maybe go a step too far, but is somebody who's a leader, is a veteran, the young players on the team are looking up to, they're clearly feeding off of, and it's working. Dillon Brooks' presence on this team has completely changed the identity and the culture and the swagger that this team has. If you decided to pull the plug on that before one season was over, you'd be stupid. You'd be a terrible GM to look at what this team is doing this year, knowing that Dillon Brooks is a major part of it, and say, yeah, we'll just trade him. Just trade him to the Lakers. And then trade him to that team in particular. And so I love Mat Ishbia saying, yeah, don't bother calling. We're not trading this guy. He's not going anywhere. This is a key cog to what we're doing. And I love the recognition. I love the defense of Dillon Brooks, the understanding of how important he is. That's the other thing this highlights, the importance that Dillon Brooks is providing. Mat Ishbia clearly knows it. Brian Gregory clearly knows it. Jordan Knott clearly knows it. This is also another example of just how far this organization has come in a short amount of time, that people are throwing these dumb hypotheticals out there, that the Lakers need to call the Phoenix Suns to make a trade to make their team better. Also, the Phoenix Suns, correct me if I'm wrong, producer Evan, 21-14 this season? Is that correct?
21-14. 7 games over 500.
Why would we be trading players off of a 21-14 basketball team?
They're currently on pace to win 48 games. And
if they're going to do anything,
on average in the NBA, 49 to 50 wins gets you the 5 seed. That's the average 5th seed in the NBA. What's 48 get you? That's what you're on pace for.
We have a drop for this. We have a brand new drop that I think can sum up this entire conversation from Boogie Cousins.
Exactly from what Boogie said?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
I mean,
here.
you know the drop I'm looking for.
I do.
I don't have it on my board.
Wrong.
Yeah, just a bad take.
Wrong.
Just take the L, Boogie.
Wrong.
You're off base on this one. The Suns are not trading Dillon Brooks. The Suns are not trading somebody that is a key part of their 21-14 start, a key part of them being on pace for 48 wins.
The alignment.
Yeah, no, you want to talk about somebody that's directly aligned with what the Suns are trying to do. It's Dillon Brooks. They brought him here. They sought him out for this specific reason, and you're advocating. And you know what this is. You know exactly what this is. This is the easiest thing to dissect in the world. This is somebody who thinks the entire basketball world revolves around the Lakers being good, or Boston being good, or these big market teams being good. And so they have an inability to understand context and ask the question of, why would a 21-14 Phoenix Suns team trade their second best player? Why would a team that could potentially be a top 5, top 4 team in the Western Conference trade their second best player right now? I can tell you why. Lakers need help. So everyone's just going to do what the Lakers need them to do. Now, it's fair because the Dallas Mavericks just handed them Luka Doncic. So I can understand why you think that. But the entire basketball world does not revolve around the Los Angeles Lakers and what they need to get better. And the Phoenix Suns are certainly not going to help that franchise out. Not going to happen.
That's my other point, too, is why would these two organizations make that trade?
It's so
okay if he's somewhere else. Why would these two organizations make that trade? And it goes back to just
wrong. It's just so baffling that it was something that he thought was a smart thing to say out loud. Now, do I think Phoenix has some veteran pieces that they could explore trading? I do. I do think they could explore kind of doing a soft sell while also buying and moving some contracts around. But it wouldn't be Dillon Brooks. Maybe you consider moving Royce O'Neal or Grayson Allen, but you don't consider moving Dillon Brooks. Just absurd. Absolutely absurd. Give it to me one more. I need one more time before we close this. Wrong. Just very bad.
The alignment.
Staying aligned.
Oh, of course. No doubt staying aligned.
Boogie?
The alignment.
Not aligned.
Oh, not aligned at all. Well, he's aligned to help the Lakers, not aligned to understand that a 21-14 basketball team is not going to trade their second best player. Why wouldn't they do it? Oh, I don't know. Because they're going to be the 5 seed in the West, perhaps? Maybe that's a reason why the Suns wouldn't do that trade. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, anybody want to let the Diamondbacks know that they could make some moves in the offseason? Talk about it next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
The Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number one. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left, burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can change fast. That's when the attorneys at Sweet James step in. They help you understand your rights, connect you with medical care, and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to. You don't pay anything unless your case is resolved successfully, and help is available 24 hours a day. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-9000000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results. The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Zalisco Presents.
The quality of Fulton Home community is spectacular.
Fulton Home communities are wonderful. It's a very comforting feeling. You know, it's kind of seems to be a sense of family.
You become friends with people in your neighborhood. When we walk in a Fulton Home model, it always feels like home.
When we walked into the model home, we noticed the high ceilings, the beautiful kitchen, the flooring, and the floor plan. We knew it was a place where we were going to raise our family.
My Fulton home has lasted 30 years. I've had no problems. There's been nothing that I've had to call a workman out ever in 30 years. I would definitely recommend a Fulton home to friends and family.
We absolutely would recommend a Fulton home to our friends and family.
We definitely would recommend Fulton to all of our friends and family.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
I think the officiating this year was one of the worst overall jobs in big moments on nationally televised games.
It took baseball a couple big plays, but they finally decided that was the right move. That when they would show a replay at first base, Andy, and everybody after one replay would know in an instant of a second, oh, that guy was safe or that guy was out. I hope that's the one thing about the NFL in the offseason. That's got to change, Andy.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I saw a great tweet yesterday from one of our favorite Twitter accounts here on the show, D-Back Stats and Info, that really put into context this offseason for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Do you know that it's been 10 weeks of the Ketel Marte saga? It has been 10 weeks.
That's crazy.
Of wondering aloud if Ketel Marte was going to get traded. 10 weeks. The winter meetings, the post-winter meetings, looking at the Rays making a trade, the Red Sox making a trade, and wondering how that fits into the bigger picture of maybe those teams getting Ketel Marte. All of it has led up to 10 weeks have gone by. And while I said yesterday during a buy or sell that, yeah, Ketel Marte is still a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now I expect him to be the opening day second baseman. It's not like we've gotten that firm confirmation from Mike Hazen that they are closing that chapter, that they are stopping those talks and they're going to move on with the remainder of their offseason. And so there's that little voice in the back of your head that is reminding you that they could always still possibly make that move. But it is past time to move on because there's plenty to move on to. We think this team needs to add a bat. I do find it interesting that Alex Bregman is not signed yet. I find it weird that...
Do you think he's possibly waiting for this Ketel?
He's going to run out of suitors if he does that.
I think so too. But that's to the point where I'm starting to have that thought, because this is a guy who, and I like Bregman, but he's not, because of the way free agency is going this year. When Bryce Harper hit free agency, he was the top guy. It was him and Machado, and Machado signed first, and then Bryce went later. The top guys typically, and that's not always true, Juan Soto, kind of a different example, typically go a little later, right? You wait for the market to set, and then you go. For Juan Soto, we knew what the market was going to be, and it was different. But for Bregman, he's not the top guy, right? Like he's supposed to be the guy that kind of sets the market for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, you look at free agency right now in general, and Kyle Tucker's still out there. Cody Bellinger's still out there. Bo Bichette is still out there. We're talking about Alex Bregman still being out there. A lot of the top options on the hitting side still remain available in free agency, and I just wonder if he's not going back to Boston, that being Alex Bregman. I don't see a world where they're going to fit Ketel Marte and Alex Bregman into the payroll, but I do find it noteworthy that people aren't putting to bed the idea of that still happening, of the Diamondbacks having both of those guys on their opening day roster in 2026. You're not seeing the Ken Rosenthal's of the world, the Jeff Passons of the world say that that's not a possibility. In fact, you're seeing them leave the door open for the exact opposite. So I do find that a little puzzling considering what we expected this offseason to look like. And maybe that's why you're not seeing the Diamondbacks be uber aggressive to get another bat in this lineup. Why you're not seeing them be aggressive to get that other starter, to get that reliever. Because maybe they're still operating in a world where Ken Kendrick is willing to open up the payroll again to have Alex Bregman and Ketel Marte. I don't think that's what's going on, but I think I'd be foolish considering the information that we have in front of us at this time to say that it's a 0% chance that it happens. You're not seeing immediately after, but again, there hasn't been this slamming of the door shut to Ketel Marte being moved or staying. You're not seeing a report come out and say the Diamondbacks are moving on to other things. You're not seeing John Heyman, Jeff Passan, Ken Rosenthal come out and say the Diamondbacks are ending talks about Ketel Marte. They're moving on with the rest of their offseason. They need to get X, Y, and Z, which is what you normally see when these things kind of wrap up. And so maybe that door is still more open, but it's been 10 weeks. You've got to get another reliever in here. You got to get another starter. You need an outfielder. You need another bat for this lineup. There's still work to do. Now, the good thing is plenty of names still out there. We just mentioned what the top of the bat market looks like, but there's still some pitchers out there. Edward Cabrera looks like he's going to get moved if he hasn't already been moved today to the Chicago Cubs. So still activity on the trade front. You still have Sandy Alcantara, if you want to call it Miami. Mackenzie Gore is still available. Tarek Skubal is still out there. There are still names, Hunter Green potentially. There are still names on the, it's not like all of these names have come and gone and the Diamondbacks are left out in a rainstorm without an umbrella. They've got options. So they can be patient, even though that may hurt all of us. That may be painful for all of us to wait even more because we basically have had an offseason that's been on pause for 10 weeks. Yeah, okay, it was nice in the middle of it that they signed Merrill Kelly, but other than that, their entire offseason has been on pause because of Ketel Marte. And so I don't know what this 2026 roster is going to look like. I thought I had a good handle on what they were going to do. I thought it was pretty cut and dry. They were going to add 2 starters. Maybe they would bring back Merrill Kelly. They would add a couple of relievers. They would look at a bat. We said it. We outlined a potential offseason that included, signing Devin Williams, signing Harrison Bader for it to be your outfielder. Now, the Devin Williams part of it still can't still happen, but you can go sign Harrison Bader if you want an outfielder. You can go trade for a starter if you want to. So it's all still possible. It's all still there. They can still put together a better roster for 2026, but it's just maybe because it's been so long since they've done something, it's harder to see what path they're going to take because you're not getting any breadcrumbs of a path that they're going to take. You're not even getting like any idea of what they could do. Everything is being held up by Ketel Marte. Everything is being held up by this apparent willingness to move him, even though they're clearly not getting the offers that they want. But my message to Diamondbacks fans today would be is that there's still a pathway for them to be better. There's still ways for them to improve. It may require some trades. It may require some extra money. But there are pathways for them to get better. There are pathways for them to improve. There are pathways for them to set up 2026 to be competitive. But it just feels like still, even though 10 weeks has gone by, everything is still on pause. And that's true of the top of the market in general, right? We just mentioned it a little bit ago, but Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Alex Bregman, all still out there. The big names that are going to sign huge deals, if they're 6-year deals or if they're 3-year deals, there's a lot of money going to be thrown around to those guys. They're all still out there. So I understand preaching patience once again feels weird because you've been patient for 10 weeks and you've had one major move. But I think that's what this situation is going to require because, again, I don't know what they've missed on just yet. Maybe the relief market is the one area where they could have been a little more proactive. But other than that, they can still improve this roster. But they ultimately need to decide what they're doing with Ketel Marte. That still is the thing that is holding all of this up. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. We kick off hour number 2 with a little buy or sell of the hottest takes in the Valley. That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
The People's Open is back. See the PGA Tour's best tee it up at the 2026 WM Phoenix Open, February 2nd through the 8th at TPC Scottsdale. Get tournament and ticket info at WMPhoenixOpen.com. Life can change in an instant. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can feel overwhelming. The pain, the stress, and the uncertainty of what comes next. You don't have to go through it alone. The attorneys at Sweet James understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact an accident can have. They're here to help you navigate the legal process and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to under the law. When you call Sweet James, you're connecting with a team of attorneys experienced in handling serious injury cases. Their work is driven by preparation, advocacy, and a genuine commitment to helping clients seek accountability and justice. Every case is different, and outcomes depend on the specific facts involved. If you've been injured in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James for your free case review. They handle everything for you so you can focus on healing. That's the Sweet James advantage. Help available 24/7. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-900-0000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
For over 50 years, they redefined rock. The spirit lives on.
Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson celebrate 50 years of Rush 50-something tour, December 1st and 3rd, 2026, Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets are on sale now at rush.com. Legends don't stop. They evolve. Rush.
Rule number 21. Let the chips fall where they may. The flop. The river. Kicker. Big blind. Ace in the hole. Broadway. Muck. I have no idea what any of this means, but at Talking Stick Resort, whether you're playing blackjack or sitting down at the new state-of-the-art arena poker room, you will know what to do. Talking Stick Resort. Life Well played.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
We kick off hour number 2 of the lunch break here on the Wednesday edition of the show. Hottest takes in the Valley. Buy or sell. Can't wait to see what producer Evan has cooked up for us here today.
I've been in the kitchen working on this.
Anything about this fake episode of Stranger Things that everyone is expecting?
Oh, my gosh.
It's come out today?
Yeah, we'll start with that. Anybody who believes this is in denial.
We need to explain a little bit for our audience who maybe isn't the biggest Stranger Things fan. There's this theory that because of the people who don't like the ending.
Well, can I start with it? Because I think you're a little nicer to the ending than I am. It stinks. It stinks. It's not Game of Thrones level bad, but it stinks. Okay, go ahead.
So for people like producer Evan, who hate the ending of the show, they have convinced themselves that there is a secret actual finale episode that is going to be released today on Netflix. Play the drop. Play the drop.
Wrong.
It's never been more appropriate.
Wrong. Wrong. You can't believe it. Like, people can't truly
listen, I get it. You have an emotional attachment to a show for a very long time. You don't like the way that it ended. This is what you do.
The way that it ended stunk.
This is your coping mechanism.
But that's welcome to TV. Most of the shows stink.
Okay. We need to decide as a show here what we want to do with a comment that was just brought in on the YouTube side of things.
From Code?
Because I'm sympathetic to not wanting to give out spoilers. It's been
7 days.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. You give, this is the last day of the grace period for Code. Tomorrow, if it came up again, we could spoil it.
Thursday edition of the program, spoilers all over the place for Stranger Things. I'm going to put that in the tease. I think you get a week, and we haven't said anything about what happens in the show. But Code, I'll tell you this: starting tomorrow, we can't protect you, so you need to watch it tonight. Because who knows when we?
There are good parts.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's the problem. You think it's fine.
I think it's more than fine, actually. But I don't want to do this today because I don't want to spoil it for our guy Code.
I think can I be honest with you? To a lot less extent than Game of Thrones probably did. I think they tried to fit too much into a small, and then they had to cut a lot because the original run times that they were released or leaked or whatever you want to say were like an hour 45 an episode. And they came out just over an hour, like hour 4. So I think they cut a lot.
They have said that there's not a single scene that's been cut.
I think that's a lot.
Okay. So you're just calling them liars. I can't. There's nothing I can do to retort that.
I do think the editor, the producers or writers of the show have maybe been a little too open.
I mean, they've said that there hasn't been a single scene that's been cut from the show.
I can't wait for Code to watch, and then I want him to give her his thoughts.
The guy hasn't even started season 5 yet.
He's got the full season?
Code, I can't help you, man.
Oh. Code.
I'm not going to feel bad if we accidentally spoil something over the next couple days.
Because the start of season 5 came out on Thanksgiving. So now we're talking about a month and a half, Code.
Like 2 major holidays ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Stranger Things stunk. Conformity Gate or whatever they're calling it, not real. I'm so done with seeing it though. I can't even get on Instagram.
Oh, it's just it was littering my feed today.
It's really, really frustrating. Speaking of things that won't happen.
Okay, John Harbaugh.
The Cardinals won't hire their head coach until after the Super Bowl.
I will buy this take. And I'm buying this take because I really think they're going to pluck from the NFC West. And there's a pretty decent chance
that one of those teams ends up in it.
That one of those teams is playing in the NFC Championship game into the Super Bowl, and they're playing that late in the season. And if it's either Seattle or San Francisco, I really think Saleh or Kubiak is going to be one of the two finalists. Those two now.
I think Kubiak certainly will.
Of the list I have right now, those would be my two favorites for the gig. And both personal favorites, but also if I was putting betting odds on it, I would list those two as the favorites. They just check so many boxes.
Yeah. I don't disagree in the Kubiak situation. I don't know if I love Saleh for this job.
I have every reason to tell you that Robert Saleh is not.
I know,
a good head coach.
and that's why I'm struggling to say.
So me saying that I think he would work here should carry a little weight for people. Because I lived it. All of it. Usually in this case, you say the good, bad, and the ugly. It's just the bad and the ugly. I lived through it. I'm telling you, I think Robert Saleh would work here.
Okay. I believe you. A possible Ketel Marte trade is still what's holding up the D-backs right now.
It's been 10 weeks. What are we doing? Are they gonna add a reliever? Are they gonna add a starter?
Are they gonna add anything?
Right. Yes, it's holding up.
We are a very different place from where we were 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago, they added Merrill Kelly back. There was rumors of, maybe not 5 weeks ago, but 3 weeks ago, rumors of Alex Bregman.
But those rumors
have completely. But I haven't heard a single rumor about a Brexit.
Outside of Ketel Marte leaving and Alex Bregman coming in, there's not been any think pieces about how they could make it work with the two of them together financially.
No.
Everybody thought it was Marte out, Bregman in. Ketel Marte is still on the team. You got to do something. Yes. Yes, past me, yes. The Diamondbacks need to do something. And I like bringing back Merrill Kelly. It made sense. But the work can't stop there. This rotation.
That wasn't the only move they needed to make. That was one of 6 that we highlighted 4 months ago.
I need something. I need something that tells me they're gonna make some type of move. Spring training starts in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report the week after Super Bowl.
If you go to Baseball Savant right now, it tells you how many days until spring training. When you do that, it's going to be an alarming number considering the holes on this roster. How many days until spring training?
44 days.
That's alarming considering they have
That's till spring training games. So it's 40 days till they report, and then 77 days from opening day. 56 days until the WBC.
Oh, I can't wait for the WBC.
Speaking of that, do we even have our full we don't have a full roster there yet.
We don't. I'm going to be off that week too for the WBC.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going on a cruise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm out a whole week. Show will continue. You'll be filling in for me that week. But
I'm learning about this now. So
I figured you're the fill-in guy. When I'm not here, you fill in for me. So
yeah, no, I'm pumped for it.
It's also in March, so I didn't feel like we needed to discuss it today. But you mentioned the WBC, and so that made me think of it.
Okay. The Suns won't make any major additions to the roster at the deadline. Mat Ishbia will learn from his past mistakes.
You said won't
make any major additions.
Austin Reeves for Dylan Brooks is a major addition.
That would be a major move.
I do not think there will be anything major.
Now, they need to add pieces.
They do. Especially if they continue to play this well and they are in the hunt for a top 4 seed.
Man, imagine if they beat Houston.
You see why I was so angry yesterday about it.
Yeah.
You win that game, and you had a double-digit lead in that game. If you win that game, it's 22-13.
22-13.
So yes, I think they'll make an addition. I think they'll make smart additions on the wing. They don't need to add a center. Maybe they add another. Dare I say that they add a point guard? Maybe.
Do you move Gillespie?
Well, no. Whoa, I'm not advocating for that. When's Jalen Green coming back?
Next year.
So you might need another guard. Because this is just taking longer for Jalen Green, and I don't know if they're going to want to put him at 100% the moment he's back. So I wonder if another guard.
Early to mid-January 2026. I have yet to hear anything.
That's concerning. What's more concerning? The Diamondbacks' inactivity or the lack of updates on Jalen Green?
Based on Coach Ott's latest 2-week timeline for the talented guard, he could make his return as soon as January 17th against the New York Knicks.
See, there's a lot of maybes and coulds and shoulds that I'm not comfortable with. Based on the estimated timeline that Jordan Ott set, he could come back this date.
Who knows?
That does nothing for me.
Nothing. By the way, Dan Orlovsky just tweeted, the Cardinals should hire Harbaugh tonight. Thanks, Dan.
I saw that tweet was actually last night, and I saw that tweet. Dan is better than this.
Thanks, Dan. This is the same guy, by the way.
Dan, Madden, dude.
I just want to say
he has to want to come here.
Dan's going off the walls. Dan tweeted this yesterday, and then tweeted like 2 days prior that if Stafford wins the MVP, he might be the greatest quarterback of all time. And that video, tweet, whatever you want to say, Dan, you lose credibility. I'm a Dan guy.
Why are you tweeting that? Yes, everybody should hire John Harbaugh yesterday. Yes, they should have done that.
Like, Dan, come on.
Guess what? The Cardinals don't have the final say in the matter.
Back to buy or sell. Sam Levitt will be left out of the big schools looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal.
Boy, does it certainly look like it. He's not going to Kentucky. He's not going to LSU, it looks like. Doesn't look like he's going to Texas Tech. Washington does. If Williams goes to LSU. We'll package these together because we're running out of time too. But my next one is Damon Williams' situation will be what makes the NCAA start to make rules. I'll sell that because I don't trust the NCAA to do anything. Okay. But I agree that it should force them to make some rules because for those not following, the quarterback in Washington reportedly signed an NIL deal with the university and is trying to back out of that deal to now go to LSU. And it looks like Washington is attempting to enforce the contract that was signed. And if they're saying they will take pursuit in court if he leaves. And so we've seen this in the past. I think Wisconsin did this with a prospect that wanted to go to Miami. And so you're seeing a lot of this. And so it's the wild, wild west. There need to be rules put in place. There need to be guardrails because this type of stuff is just going to become commonplace right now. And I saw a story today that you have teams that are offering players contracts and their corporate sponsors are giving them more money than is actually allowed. And the clearinghouses haven't approved these deals, but they're going through with them anyway. I mean, you just have schools that are just doing whatever they want. Nobody's going to step in. There needs to be structure. There need to be rules in place. And if he does end up going to LSU, then I think it opens up a pathway for Sam to go to Washington. I think that would be left out from where he had originally thought. It's a Big Ten school. It's a Power 2 school. Yeah. He's not going to North Texas. No, I know. No offense to the Mean Green, but. No, I know. But this was 2 weeks ago. This was talking about a guy who's either going to play with Lane Kiffin or going to Texas Tech, who was the number 4 team in the country. Or, Kentucky had come up late, but that was not a school I had even had on the front of mind. It's a guy who entered the transfer portal with the do not contact tag, which everybody thought was their way of saying that they had been tampering the entire time and they had picked another spot. And it doesn't seem to be that way at all. It feels like more like Sam wanted to control all of this. The do not contact was, we want to handle this. We don't want you reaching out to us we want to reach out to you.
And I think that all of a sudden he's getting a little bit of a wake-up call.
Oh, it's not a little bit of a wake-up call. It's a massive wake-up call. Thought he was going to be one of the biggest names in the portal, and he might be left without a major dance partner.
Even though he was courtside last night at LSU with Lane Kiffin.
Is that it? Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Another edition of Buy or Sell in the books. When we come back, it's a Top 5 Wednesday here on the show. This comes from yesterday's program. We talked about producer Evan's top 5 personal sports villains. So we decided to put together our own lists. Our top 5 personal sports villains. Next, the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
You got Seattle figured out? I'm trying to. I said that defense is unbelievable. They run the football, but what's it come down to? Sam Darnold is going to have to prove to all of us in a big game he can play big. Now, you can say that game against San Francisco, he played big. He didn't. His defense did, and his running game did. We did this with Lamar Jackson. We do this with Josh Allen. There are certain quarterbacks where we go, okay, prove it.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can change fast. That's when the attorneys at Sweet James step in. They help you understand your rights, connect you with medical care, and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to. You don't pay anything unless your case is resolved successfully, and help is available 24 hours a day. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-900-0000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns with special guest Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream.
Right now at Del Taco, you can get 2 grilled chicken tacos for just $3. You hear that? That's the real sizzle of a real grill. At Del Taco, we freshly grill our marinated chicken right here in our kitchens. Not some factory far, far away. It's what makes our grilled chicken tacos a top seller for over 30 years. So come get 2 grilled chicken tacos, made to order for only $3. A real good deal we can all use right now. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah.
Price and participation may vary.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Whenever a head coach like John Harbaugh parts ways with the franchise, it naturally forces everyone to ask the same question. What is the plan? Moving on from a Hall of Fame coach is rare. Skepticism is justified. Elite head coaches are hard to find in the NFL, and history tells us the grass is not always greener. But sometimes growth requires discomfort. The Eagles made a difficult decision with Andy Reid after 14 seasons. It felt risky, maybe premature, and it led to 2 Super Bowl titles and a complete organizational reset. The Patriots faced a similar crossroads with Bill Belichick. After 24 seasons, 6 championships, the Patriots started to decline. 2 years later, they flirted with the AFC's top seed. None of this erases what Harbaugh accomplished in Baltimore, a Super Bowl title, nearly 2 decades of relevance. But after 18 years, the Ravens needed a reset. Letting go of a legend is never easy. Sometimes, though, it's necessary. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
Start the year with a splash of flavor. Heartland Steakco's Reef and Beef Package combines juicy steak and fresh seafood for the ultimate celebration. With the Reef and Beef Package from Heartland Steakco, you will be feasting on Maine cold water lobster, jumbo USA sea scallops, 16-ounce USDA choice ribeye steaks, and 8-ounce filet mignon, delivered straight to your door. Don't wait long, because the Reef and Beef Package from Heartland Steakco will not be around forever. So treat yourself or pick one up as a gift for family, friends, clients, or anyone who loves that true Midwest taste. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteaksco.com. And right now, when you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping plus $26 off with promo code NEWYEAR26. Give the gift of flavor this year with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteaksco.com, promo code NEWYEAR26. Taste the Heartland difference.
NAU men's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks this Thursday evening as they play host to Weber State. With the leadership of head coach Shane Burkhart, NAU knows they have what it takes to defend home court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Weber State this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, Wednesday edition of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Producer Evan on the other side of the glass. It's time for a list. And this is a producer Evan inspired list.
I had a hard time putting this one together.
Yeah, because there's just so many names for you. There are so many personal villains that you have in your sports life.
I just can't believe you don't have more.
Well, I have more. I just did. I did the assignment. 5 names, 3 HMs. It's what we do here on the show.
Yeah, I couldn't decide on HMs.
Yeah, you want HMs to the HMs, and then you want HMs to the HMs to the HMs.
So I have 6 HMs.
Yeah.
How many of those would you like?
3. I want the standard 3 that we give on the show.
Okay. Would you like to lead off?
So you're going to have to figure it out and take that list. You have a larger list of HMs than the actual top 5 list.
I know. All right, I'll give you.
You know what? I actually want to do something. Okay. I want you to go through all 6. I want to remove the 3 for you.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I want to tell you which ones are not worthy of being on your list.
Okay. My HMs. Rob Thompson.
Rob Thompson is an HM?
Is an HM.
My goodness, this list is going to get bad.
Gabe Kapler.
Kapler can go.
It's what? It's just too long.
It's he wasn't there long enough.
You're gonna remove this next one. I do.
We're moving Gabe Kapler.
Jose Altuve. That's like a world one. You know, like he's everybody's villain.
I'm considering removing Altuve. Okay. Yes.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a Penn State fan, and then he went to the Cowboys. Like, that's...
Oh, so you have the double tie.
I got the double tie.
You can leave him in. Double tie, you can leave him in.
Yep. Miles Austin.
I can't tell you the last time I thought about Miles Austin.
Yeah.
So off the list.
Okay. Namdi Asamoah.
Namdi Asamoah?
No, okay. I got to... Namdi. My brother loved Namdi as a kid, right? So, like... older brother, you just start to like Namdi. So he had a Raiders Namdi jersey. He was sweet as kid. And then he becomes a free agent. The Eagles sign him kind of out of nowhere. We, at the time, used to go to training camp up north in like the Lehigh Valley. And I bought a Namdi Eagles jersey like the second he signed with the Eagles. And he pulled me out of practice and signed my jersey. It was very nice of Namdi Asamoah. Oh. And then proceeded to be the worst registered corner in the National Football League. On, quote, the dream team.
As you were telling the story, I'm like, this is a nice, wholesome story. And I knew at some point you were going to get to how bad he was as a Philadelphia Eagle, but the lead up to it was how great he was.
Yes.
You can keep him on the list. Kapler's got to go.
Miles Austin has to
go. And I think Altuve has to.
Okay. All right. So my HMs, Rob Thompson, Ezekiel Elliott, and Namdi Asamoah.
My HMs. This one. Nobody's anticipating this one. But I can vividly remember being in my basement as a kid, watching the Olympics and watching Team USA lose a gold medal.
Yeah, he was an HM, and then I decided.
Oh, no. Not just him. The whole Canadian hockey team is an HM for me. Put the whole thing, not the country. I love curling.
Curling's great.
Huge Montreal Expos guy.
Did you watch that documentary?
I did not.
I didn't either.
The Netflix one?
Yeah.
I've heard great things, haven't had time. So the Canadian hockey team, because they've been a thorn in my side my entire childhood.
You really wanted the Four Nations.
Oh, Ryan Miller.
I knew that was coming out of your mouth next.
My other HM. I don't hate them as much as I probably should. So
Okay.
I put them as an HM.
You're doing teams, by the way?
I do have some teams on here.
Okay.
I have 3 teams on my list.
Okay.
I think you'll understand why.
Yeah.
The University of Arizona.
Oh, I should have put them up there.
They're an HM for me because I don't hate them as much as I probably should.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the Valley. We cover sports. We talk U of A at times. Do I want ASU to beat them in every sport? Absolutely.
Every time.
But there's not this like super hatred, but I know I'm supposed to, so I made him an HM.
So when we go down, I've been down there a couple times to watch. I've had some miserable experiences. And I got to tell you, after I was down there when the basketball team lost by like 45, that made me dislike them.
And since we're telling personal stories, my daughter, one of her personal softball coaches, played at the university. We went down there to see her. Couldn't have been more nicer to us.
Yeah.
We mentioned that I was a Sun Devil. It was kind of a funny little bit.
Most of the time it is funny.
But they were just so gracious with her, and so I just can't hate them as much as I want to. But I know I'm supposed to. And then my last HM. And you're going to be stunned that when I tell you this team name that they're not higher up on the list. I got the Yankees as an HM.
I got to tell you, I'm surprised they were an HM.
The building, the fans.
Are you one of the it's a slab of concrete
the
people?
Pinstripes, the beard policy, the thinking that they're better than everybody. Get out of here.
Why do the
nonsense.
Yankees always win, Chris? Everybody can't stop looking at the pinstripes.
Let me tell you, they're not doing a lot of winning right now. 2009 called.
Hey, don't bring it up.
I'm sorry. It's the last time they won a championship.
Oh, should have added Hideki Matsui.
2009. So those are my HMs. All right, number 5 for you.
My number 5, Kevin Petullo.
So he did make the list.
Seasons-
I thought he was going to be number 2 because I know who number 1 is. Number 1, go to FanDuel, DraftKings, Underdog, Caesars, Fanatics, whatever, Bet365.
I think you're going to be so surprised by my list.
Chip Kelly is number 1 on this list. Lock. In fact, they're taking the bet down off the board. That's how much of a lock it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kevin Petullo, my number 5, because the season's not over. And if they win, he can't be on the list. But right now, he's certainly on the list. Kevin Petullo, my number 5.
So even during a top 5 list, he's doing the college football playoff thing. Listen to that, everybody. He's doing the college football playoff thing.
Well, it's not over. That's not fair. Like, I hate him, but that's not fair. He's a villain to me.
My number 5, 2 reasons why he's on this list. 1, because of the team that he coached. But number 2.
I just realized who your number 1's going to be.
Who's my number 1 going to be? Take a guess.
Is it a baseball player?
It's not a baseball player.
Okay.
But the baseball player you're thinking of, he's on the list. We'll get to him. Don't you worry. Number 5, the former head coach of the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. Not only for the years of torture that he gave to me as a child watching the New York Jets and his utter dominance, but he was supposed to be my head coach. And then he resigned on a napkin. To leave to go to New England and start that run up there in Foxborough. So Bill Belichick for me, number 5.
My number 4.
I resign as HC of the NY Jets on a napkin before a press conference that was not supposed to be about that. What a joke.
My number 4. Again, this is going to shock you. It's Sean Payton. I, more than most, have a huge problem with Bountygate. That is a terrible, terrible thing. And I got to tell you, the only reason this guy has a Super Bowl is because of an onside kick. Because Hank Baskett fumbled an onside kick. He has a Super Bowl. And I was rooting so hard for the Colts and Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl. I just can't. It's something about Sean. He's so arrogant. The way he only made it worse. Like throwing a dig at Russell Wilson, the whole world knew he didn't have to do that. And Russell Wilson coming back with a Bounty Gate joke is even funnier. So he got showed up by Russell Wilson, who's like not funny at all. He's the worst. He's the worst.
Number 4. It's my last team on the list.
You don't have anything to say about Sean Payton?
I mean, I don't have that level of hatred as you do. I can't match that. He's not on my list. Number 4, I think everybody can agree on this. The Los Angeles Dodgers. The traffic leaving the ballpark.
That's who you led with?
The dump of a stadium they play in. How annoying they've been over the last 2 years winning back-to-back titles. They have Shohei Ohtani, who I like as a baseball player, but I have a tough time rooting for.
That's the problem with them, is they have likable guys. I like Freddie Freeman. Sure. I like Mookie Betts. I like Shohei Ohtani.
Can't root for him. Can't do it.
I like Will Smith, too, as a player.
I like Yamamoto. I like Tilly Jansen.
Yeah.
But you just play for the Dodgers. Number 4 for me, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
My number 3 is really going to surprise you, but this guy, it's his face. It's that he makes complete errors.
Oh, no.
It's Jeff McNeil.
Oh,
I just despise
Jeff
McNeil.
It doesn't hurt me as much as you think it would, because there are
He's
times,
not on your team.
No, there are times where Jeff would do something and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
And then he played for Team USA, and he was a disgrace for Team USA. And then it made me hate him way more.
So who's gonna be the honorable Jeff McNeil for this Team USA? When the roster comes out, we're gonna have to pick who's gonna be this version's Jeff McNeil. Number 3. You want to say his name?
My childhood hero, everybody. Chase Utley.
Chase Utley, number 3 for me on this list. And it's because he played for an arch rival in the Philadelphia Phillies. He then played for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are on this list. And as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers, broke the leg of Ruben Tejada in the postseason. Now, the Mets won the series. They went on to go to the World Series and lose. But Chase Utley acted like he didn't do anything wrong.
Broke up the play at second base.
Scum.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What? And this is just, you can't actually think that you guys would have won with Ruben Tejada.
No, but it's a dirty play, and to act like he didn't do anything wrong is and then he acts surprised the next year where we throw at him. What do you expect, dude? And then the cowards that the Dodgers are, they don't play him when they play the game at Citi Field.
And question, who filled in for Ruben Tejada?
That series?
Yeah.
I think it was Wilmer Flores.
It was, who was outstanding, by the way, the rest of the way. So I don't know why everybody's so upset about it.
It's a dirty play. I don't care. I don't care that they won the series. And plus, he was annoying when he was a Philly.
Yeah. Wait. Question, what's the right field corner of your stadium called?
The right field corner?
Yeah. Everybody calls it that. That last section before the foul pole?
I don't know what you're referencing.
Utley's corner?
I just can't stand Chase Utley. He's number 3 on my list.
Number 2 on my list, the worst strikeout in the history of one of my favorite organizations. Runners on first and third, 1 out, just put the ball in play. They traded Logan O'Hoppe for Brandon Marsh, and I got to tell you, I can't stand this guy. Whenever it matters, he's a free out. You're in an 11-1 game. Go deep, Brandon Marsh. Make it 12-1. Make it 11-2, whatever it is. Game matters. 1, 2, 3, back to the dugout. Brandon Marsh, number 2. He's terrible.
Number 2 for me. Another rival of one of my baseball teams. He named his son after the stadium. He's got a lame nickname. Chipper Jones, number 2. Larry Jones, to be more precise, because that's his actual government name is Larry. His name's not Chipper. I'm not calling a grown man Chipper Jones. But he owned the Mets so bad. I don't know how many people know this. He owned the Mets so bad. He named his son Shea after Shea Stadium. That's how good he was, and the Braves were at Shea Stadium when Chipper Jones played. He named his son after the ballpark. Number 2, Chipper Jones.
I didn't know that. That's bad. That's bad. And number 1. I don't really know what
Chip
else.
Kelly, number 1.
I don't even know what else to say about him. But imagine being a kid and having a football team with Mike Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and LaShawn McCoy. Talk about explosives. And Chip Kelly took that away from us. He took it away. Mike Vick, direct quote, "I cried more when Chip Kelly was my coach than I did in prison."
Chip Kelly, number 1?
That is a crazy quote from Mike Vick. Chip Kelly, number 1.
Number 1 for me. Do you want to guess?
I got to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Is he a quarterback?
He is a quarterback.
Do I like him?
If you're saying Aaron Rodgers,
yeah,
it is not Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers is not number 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the 7-time world champ.
It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady, number 1. I respect what he did. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. I will defend that take to the end of time. But he played for a team that I cannot stand. And he was the centerpiece of it. And I hated everything about him when he played.
When he went to Tampa, did you end up rooting for him at all?
Because of who the head coach was. I did root for him.
Yeah, same.
And again, I respect Tom Brady. I love nothing more than when Rex Ryan went up there to Foxborough in the playoffs and then that was the Bart Scott can't wait game. Oh, I loved it. Loved it. Didn't lead to anything. It's the last time the Jets were in the postseason, but loved it. There you have it. You can feel the anger in our list today.
Also, honorable mention for both of us has to be Jonathan Gannon. Especially for me. Remember, JG left.
Yeah, he should be more on your list than my list.
Yeah, I don't ruin the Super Bowl for me.
Yeah, it was tough. And then he got the Cardinals gig after that.
Where he gave up 40 points a game in his third year.
480-864-1060, the phone number. If you want to share your lists of your top 5, even top 3 most hated sports villains for you personally. And you could tell we went back to our childhood for a bunch with this one. When we come back, the Cardinals might have gotten the best possible news today. We'll tell you what that news is next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils make their way back to Arizona, this time to defend home court against the University of Central Florida. Head coach Molly Miller and the Lady Sun Devils are more than ready to take on any challenge that comes to Tempe. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Wednesday. It's ASU versus UCF. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Do you love paying taxes? Yeah, we didn't think so. But here's something you will love. When you give a gift to Phoenix Rescue Mission, you can love your neighbor and get that money back on your Arizona state taxes. Every dollar you give will help rescue more neighbors from the streets, feed more people, and reunite more families. Give today and love your neighbor at phoenixrescuemission.org/tax credit.
If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, choose the attorneys at Sweet James. They help you navigate the legal process and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to. Pre-case review. Help available 24/7. Hablamos Español. 800-9-MILLION. 800-9-MILLION. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James, LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
Motley Crue. The return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. This winter, stay warm and safe. Our complete heating tune-up is just $159.95. And if you have gas, we'll install a carbon monoxide detector for free. Carbon monoxide is the invisible killer, sending thousands to the ER and killing hundreds in the U.S. every year. Get peak efficiency, avoid surprise breakdowns, and protect your family. Make the precision decision today and call 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Superstar Car Wash has extended our best deal of the year. Lock in 30% off for 12 months on a Super Protect Unlimited membership. Splurge elsewhere, save here, and treat your wealth before it's gone. Visit our website for details.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
Not surprised that the Cardinals aren't in. They fired their head coach. Kyler Murray's probably on his way out. It is what they like to call Black Monday. I'm kind of surprised by the Raheem Morris one in Atlanta. It's only been how long? Year? 2 years. So maybe that one. Pete Carroll gone. I told you from the jump when they hired Pete Carroll, I didn't like the hire. I think he's past his due. Let him go after year one. You might as well have kept the guy you had before and saved a bunch of money.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
The Cardinals, they got some great news today, or at least what we think could be some great news, because Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson made the decision to declare for the 2026 NFL draft, so you can add him to the mix at the top of this draft, along with Fernando Mendoza. Still waiting on Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, to see what he ultimately decides, and that's going to be the very important decision of what Dante Moore decides to do, because right now we know it's going to be Mendoza and Simpson. Mendoza is viewed as somebody who could go number one overall. Simpson isn't necessarily viewed as a quarterback that should go in the top 10 of this upcoming class. He's viewed more of a project. He hasn't had a ton of time as a starter at Alabama. And so there are a lot of draft experts out there who view him more back end of the first round, early on day two type of selection. But scarcity creates urgency. And so in a world where the Jets and Cardinals are picking at 2 and 3, if Dante Moore chooses to stay at Oregon, there's a lot of talk about what NIL money he could get from Oregon. It would be dwarfed by whatever he could get as the number 2 or number 3 overall pick. I ultimately think he will decide to declare because the opportunity and the money is just going to be too great. And that's music to the Cardinals' ears, because then that would leave Mendoza, Simpson, Moore at the top of this class, meaning that when they pick at number 3, one of those 3 at a minimum will be on the board. One of Mendoza, Simpson, or Moore will be on the board at number 3. The Jets are going to take a quarterback at number 2. If you assume the Raiders are going to take one at number 1, the Jets could see themselves in a world where now they have 2 first-round picks, so they could consider taking Simpson at 16 and letting him slide. But they're going to want to take a quarterback. And so if 2 quarterbacks declared, if it was just Simpson or if it was just Mendoza and just Moore, the Cardinals could be left with no dance partner if Simpson chose to return to Alabama. So Moore coming out, potentially. Simpson already declaring. We know Mendoza is going to come out. That now puts a little bit more, it gives more options for the Arizona Cardinals with the number 3 overall pick. I don't think he makes sense at number 3. I don't think they should use the number 3 overall pick on Ty Simpson. I think he's a project. I think you would need to sit him for the first half of the season. And if you want to take him at number 3 and sit him, that's fine. But there are going to be expectations for him to start right away when you take somebody that high, especially with Mendoza and Moore probably starting right away for their 2 respective markets as well. Although You're starting to see more teams go back to the way things were, where you had a bridge. That bridge played a bunch at the beginning of the season, and then you handed things off to the young quarterback. You saw that with Drake May. That worked out pretty well. You've seen it with Caleb Williams. Seeing that come back as a trend in the National Football League. But there being 3 options at the top of the draft gives options to the Arizona Cardinals because they need a plan at quarterback, whether that's having Jacoby Brissett be their starter, whether that's trading or signing somebody in free agency, whether it's using the 3rd overall pick. They've got to do something to this quarterback room. And if it was me, I would sign somebody in free agency. I would have Jacoby Brissett, and then I would also draft a quarterback. And then that quarterback is under no pressure to start right away. There are 2 quarterbacks for that quarterback to ultimately beat in order to be the starter. You could walk into next season. Let's say you took Ty Simpson at number 3 and you had Jacoby Brissett and you signed Malik Willis. You could have Malik Willis, Jacoby Brissett battle it out to be the starter. Whoever isn't the starter is the backup, and Simpson can learn from those 2. And then if you're out of it late in the season, you could turn to Ty Simpson. You put yourself under no obligation to start him. And that's the type of scenario I think the Cardinals should be looking at. Now, there's also a world where if the rest of the league views Ty Simpson similarly to the way the draft experts do, they could trade out of that spot if they love Simpson, move down to 8, 9, 10, pick up some more capital and take him there. And it's a different value proposition at 8, 9, or 10. That may still be a little early, but you've gained additional draft capital out of it. So it's not just taking Ty Simpson, it's Ty Simpson and the extra picks that you were able to get. It's going to be a fascinating conversation. And we know, according to that Josh Weinfuss story, they love Ty Simpson. And if you love Ty Simpson, if you think he's the guy, it's going to be really hard for you to not take him at number 3 if he's on the board. It's going to be really hard for you to pick up the phone and trade out of that spot in the hopes that he's there at 7, 8, 9, 10, wherever they drop down to. If you love Ty Simpson, the way the story made it out to seem that they are enamored with him as a quarterback, it's going to be really hard for the Cardinals to not take him with the number 3 overall pick. But this is part 1 of what is 2 pieces of news the Cardinals need. They needed Ty Simpson to declare, and now they need Dante Moore to declare, because then that will mean when they pick number 3 overall in April, there will be at least 1 quarterback on the board for them. At least. If the Raiders and Jets decide to go rogue and not take a quarterback, that would leave 2, unless a team trades up for 1. That would put them in a position to get one of these 3 quarterbacks, and that could be their long-term answer. Again, if I'm sitting in the chair, go sign Malik Willis, keep Jacoby Brissett, draft either Ty Simpson or somebody on day 2, and that should be your quarterback room. But this is the type of news the Cardinals want to hear because they will be searching in this draft, whether with number 3 overall or their day 2 picks, they will be searching for their answer at quarterback. So Ty Simpson entering the fray. We know Fernando Mendoza is going to be in there. Now everybody is waiting on Dante Moore. Indiana, Oregon this week. Battle of the 2 quarterbacks that might go 1 and 2 in this year's class. Should be a lot of fun to watch those 2 teams go at it. 480-864-1060, the phone number. You want to join us here today. One more before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. It is all the stories we didn't get to. We call it the leftovers. We'll get to them next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Chicago Sticks, the Windy Cities Tour. Finally, 2 iconic bands together for the first time. September 1st, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Chicago and Sticks. All the hits, your kind of tour.
Hey guys, if you have low T, it's time to get your edge back. Start testosterone therapy at Red Mountain Weight Loss and get a month of GLP-1 weight loss medications absolutely free. That's a $299 value. Listen, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Prescription testosterone restores your get up and go, so you'll feel like you're 20 again. Get more muscle with less effort in the gym. You'll also think better, sleep better, and your love life will be better. Look, don't be fooled. Nothing boosts testosterone like actual testosterone. It's a game changer. And if you're looking to lose weight, there's nothing like the combo of testosterone and a GLP-1 medication. It'll burn that belly fat and get you ripped. This month, get free GLP-1 medication, a $299 value, when you start testosterone therapy only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Book your video appointment today. Go to redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 on your phone. Keyword Red Mountain. Time to get your edge back at Red Mountain Weight Loss.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
The Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number one. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left, burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
We are wrapping up today's edition of the program here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got ASU women's basketball tonight. Got a 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 tip as they'll take on UCF. You can listen to that right here on KDUS AM 1060. All right, producer Evan, what do we have in the leftovers today?
Well, first I wanted to see, have you seen this guy who's gone like kind of viral on his fantasy football punishment?
I am unfamiliar with what you are about to say.
Okay. So Joey Chestnut, the greatest of all time.
I'm familiar with him.
Yes. Ate 71 hot dogs this year during his 10-minute hot dog competition.
I bet on him to obliterate the record, and we weren't even
He came
close.
up short, yeah.
Way short.
Anyway.
Never bet on him again now.
This guy and his buddies, the loser of their league,
okay,
at the start of the year has to match Joey Chestnut. So the loser has to eat 71 hot dogs before they can eat anything else in the year. So this guy is now, 7 days in, and he's at, towards the end of the hot dogs.
All right, let's do some math here.
But he hasn't eaten anything else other than a hot dog, and you can't put anything on it. So it's bun, dog, water. That's all he can have for however long until he eats 71.
Wait a minute. I'm going to push back on this. The reason why, hold on, because I don't know. I'm going to ask out loud.
Yeah.
I'm going to just, at the hot dog eating contest, you can't use condiments? Or they're there for you, but
you can.
So then why can't I?
Because the theory or his buddy's rule, and you can change.
This is a bad rule. I would challenge.
You can change it. You have to eat them exactly like Joey would.
But I mean, okay, but
not by rules of the sport, but like Joey would.
Okay, but the other thing that they're not doing is they're not making him do it in 15 minutes.
No, I know.
So we're changing that rule. I would appeal. If I would appeal.
I have pitched it to my fantasy league.
I would do this
and not do 71 next year. We're going to go for the record. We're going to do 83.
Hold on.
And we're going to say condiments are allowed.
Hold on. That's the punishment for the picks. We've been searching all season.
There it is.
We just found it.
There it is.
We just found it. That's the punishment for the picks.
So I'm 2 points behind you?
You keep track of that. I don't. I think I'm ahead still. That's the punishment.
I think I'm
for the
2
picks.
points behind you going into playoffs.
That's the punishment for the picks. 71 hot dogs.
Okay. 71 hot dogs.
And not in 15 minutes, 71 hot dogs.
Over however long you have to eat 71 hot dogs.
I mean, if you eat.
Or am I going to post like 3 hot dogs today and send it out on the chat?
Yeah, you get it on social media. You got to put it out there. We'll put it on our Instagram. You have what kind of hot dogs?
I think whatever you want, right?
Now, he doesn't eat the bun. Do I have to eat the bun?
No, he does. By rule, you have to eat the bun.
All right. So if I ate.
So you do have to eat the bun.
2 hot dogs for lunch and 3 hot dogs for dinner. It's 5 hot dogs.
Yeah. See, like, I think that's too little.
That's 2 weeks.
You need to be consuming 7 hot dogs a day at least, or 10. I think the number's actually closer to 10.
I don't know if I want this as the punishment now that I'm thinking about it.
No, we've settled on it.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
How many calories are in a hot dog?
I'm on a diet, too. I started a diet at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so did I. How many calories are in a hot dog? 151.
That's not terrible.
With a bun, now it's saying 250.
But okay, if I eat 6, that's 1,500 calories, 1,600 calories. It's not terrible. Because, again, that's all you're eating. That and water.
Yeah.
If you had 2 for if you had 2 for breakfast, you had 3 for lunch and 3 for dinner. That's 8.
See, 250 times 8. It's actually a very normal 2,000 calorie mark that would get you.
That's what I'm trying to hit right now.
Yeah. So I think now, little to no nutritional value in these.
Yeah, it's a punishment. We're not looking for value here. The value would have been to make better picks. That's the value.
But yeah, it would be about 2,000 calories a day of just hot dogs.
But even with 8 a day, it's more than a week.
You're talking about a week straight. I don't know if I would eat another hot dog for the rest of the year.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
And I think you would have to prepare them differently every time so that you give yourself a little bit.
But what am I allowed to do?
No, I think I don't care as long as you consume the hot dog. So you could boil it one day. The next day you could throw it in a pan. You could air fry it. You could grill it.
It's still a hot dog.
I know, but you would have to do that to give yourself the grilled one may have a different smoky touch to it, which could be nice in the midst of all your hot dogs.
You know what I would do? I can tell you exactly what I would do. I would eat a regular hot dog for breakfast, just one, maybe 2 if I was super hungry.
Okay.
I would chop up 3 hot dogs and made it like it was
like a bowl,
like pepperoni. For
It's a really good strategy.
That's what I would do for lunch, and it would just be like I eating popcorn. And then for dinner, dinner would be tough. I don't know. I don't have a plan for dinner yet.
I think it would just be hot dogs.
Because you can't have anything else, right? So I have to look my wife.
You can have the bread.
I have to look my wife and daughter in the eyes and say, hey, for the next 2 weeks, you guys can do whatever you want. I have to eat hot dogs.
Yes.
I hope, because sometimes he's listening, sometimes he's not. I hope my father-in-law is listening, because I will get a text message about this.
I'm sure my parents are listening and wondering if they want me to eat.
I hope
81 hot dogs for the course of
71. I hope I win the picks. All right, it's going to do it for us. Wednesday edition of the books. Jim Rome is next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everyone, have a great rest of your Wednesday. See ya.